You're at a party or a restaurant or a cafe. Everybody's talking and carrying on. Between that and the rustling of chairs and the clattering of silverware, there's not a person in the room who's actually listening to the music that is inevitably playing in the background in such places. I used to work as a plumber on job sites that were always dominated by carpenters. The carpenters would often have a cheap plastic boombox cranked up to some rock station, and the loud rock music would reverberate through the acoustic liveliness of the job site, combining with all the construction noise to create this thick noise soup that I had to work in all day long. I would finally get fed up and I would go over and I'd turn off the radio, and this luscious, beautiful silence would well up, filling the air, only intermittently punctuated by a hammer here or a saw cut there. And no sooner would I do that than the carpenters would say, "Hey man, turn the radio back on!" And I would have no choice but to honor their job site seniority by returning on the radio to create this horrific cacophony that they somehow found preferable to the silence that had preceded it just a moment earlier. Do you ever call up a business and you're placed on hold where they force you to listen to some insipid pop music over telephone technology? Telephone technology that was designed in the earlier half of last century, telephone technology that in no way was designed for music. It was designed for marginally intelligible human speech. Yet the studies have shown, presumably, that when people sitting on hold are forced to confront the ambient silence inside their own heads, they will get unnerved and they'll hang up and they'll buy the product at some other business like that. Now, at the end of No Shame Theater tonight, presumably we will once again be forced to listen to that loud piece of rock sort of music, which seems to be No Shame's closing theme song. The song will reverberate extreme reverberation through the extremely high ceiling of the atrium building, rendering it quite unlistenable, in my opinion, as a former recording studio person. And yet, it'll also render a lot of the conversation much, much more difficult than would otherwise be taking place. Have you ever noticed how straight white men really love golf and fishing? My personal theory about this is that golf and fishing are the closest they ever get to a meditation practice. But if they want to relax and clear their minds, maybe they should just relax and clear their minds. Do you ever think about your thoughts? Do our thoughts just pop into our heads out of nowhere? Or is it a little bit more likely, a little more plausible that our thoughts come percolating up from a subtler, quieter place deep inside of us, a place of greater silence, clarity, and peace? And is it possible that if we, the human family, could begin perceiving our thoughts from somewhere a little closer to that place of greater silence, clarity, and peace, then humankind's heartbreaking, amazing capacity for denial, delusion, fear, and hatred, and the inevitable conflict and suffering that accompany them would dissolve like fog in the sun?